lots of things that are kind of going on here, a lot of hope here by the market that somehow we've turned this corner and we're about to have a stronger economic growth environment in the U.S. Certainly possible, but it becomes a bit more of a challenge when you think about the amount of debt, higher interest rates, all the things that really work against this idea of stronger economic growth. Here's what you need to know before the bell this morning. Yesterday, the market bounced right off the 50-day moving average. This is a good sign, right? So we talked about this 50-day moving average for the S&P 500 kind of being initial test of support for this bit of a correction consolidation phase that we very much needed. You know, we had this very strong advance in June and July. So this bit of a softness here, this correction, something we've been talking about here for a while, saying, hey, we needed a 3 to 5% correction. Well, we're working on that right now, and we've kind of gone through this first leg of this correction, tested the 50-day moving average yesterday, held that. That's a good sign. This morning, futures are going to open a bit weaker here. So again, we're going to try to retest this 50-day moving average again today. Need to hold that if we're going to start to kind of at least create a consolidation process, at least in the markets, where markets just kind of travel sideways. We just kind of bounce up and down for a bit, work off the more extreme kind of overbought MACD, which we are doing, by the way. We are getting this MACD sell signal through its oscillation process. We're not there just yet, but we want to start to see that turn back into a buy signal. When we do that, obviously, we'll be able to more safely increase exposure to portfolios, of course, in areas that we want to be in. But again, as we kind of go through this process, be a little bit patient here, because there's certainly some further downside risk as we kind of get into August. And again, with Jackson Hole Summit coming up, certainly some risk there that Jerome Powell could say something that really kind of spooks the market a bit. But again, you know, the MACD sell signal, again, the kind of the primary thing that we're watching here for our kind of indication this correction process is over, is still fairly elevated. So we've got to kind of get back below this zero line theoretically to get to a more oversold condition in the market as to where you get a much better buying opportunity. That would suggest a bit longer period here of this consolidation process. Again, you know, kind of yesterday's rally, not real surprising. We had gotten oversold on a short-term basis, and we kind of talked about yesterday a bounce was likely. We saw that bounce yesterday. But again, we're still kind of in this process. So again, really not a lot to be concerned about here. Markets are doing something very normal for this kind of August-September period. But we've kind of got to get through this. So be a little patient here. Give this market some time to kind of work through its process. Don't be too anxious to just jump in. If you see some, but again, there's certain areas that are providing opportunity. You know, some technology stocks have recently gotten pretty oversold. You know, Apple's down over 10%. You know, so there's some areas in tech that have been kind of the hot leaders. They've had a bit of a pullback here. We've seen some rotation into areas like energy. They're getting a little bit overbought here. So again, so kind of some opportunities to rebalance your portfolio between, you know, sectors of the markets as well. So again, you know, corrections are good opportunities to take advantage of those type of things. So don't be afraid to do that. Just look for the right opportunity, put the money to work opportunistically. But, you know, again, you don't have to just jump in all at once either as we kind of work through this process. We're going to get to a point of where we'll have a pretty clear buy signal, and we'll let you know that when we get there. We're just not there yet. But again, this market this morning, we're going to have a retest of this 50-day, and we'll see where we go to from there. That's what you need to know before the bell this morning.